Last time on Spilling Positivity.
Help me, and every time I come to you, you're telling me the same thing?
Yeah.
No, no, I took control
This
then
week, time for
of
part 2.
my own healing, my care. It wasn't easy.
What kind of support system did you have as you went through that process of rebuilding?
Honestly, the only support system I had was my mom. She knew everything. Obviously, she wasn't happy with the way things went for me, and she did tell me a lot of it was my fault because honestly, I got out the gates a bit too early, right? So, but she was there. And even when I decided to quit my job to stay home, because I didn't even want to go work anymore, she said, no problem. You know, so mommy was there. The only thing that she used to get scared if I go out and she didn't know where it was. So I told her, okay, I'm going to catch a bus today. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm going to be home by X time. You know, and like a little prayer book she had given me, and the prayers were for different reasons.
This is a red prayer book?
No, not prayer book. Sorry, a book with Bible verses.
Oh, okay.
With different verses for different reasons.
Okay.
You know, and it was interesting to see, although she wasn't pleased, she was still there.
As a mother.
You know,
Yes.
and I thank her tremendously for that. Talking to friends wasn't working because a lot of people were judgmental. You know, and you know, people, I tell you that it's going to happen.
Right.
Okay, you told me it was going to happen. It happened. Let's move on.
So
Help
there's
me.
no safe space even in that
Exactly.
circle of closeness,
Exactly.
which is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And in terms of Deborah, I know you have found love again. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It
I know
is.
you're a little shy about talking about it, but it's a beautiful thing because for those out there who may be going through it or have gone through it,
I don't think there's a
the
possibility.
Yeah, you are endless possibilities that showcase that.
yes.
But I also want to find out how you do get back to trusting again. And then the question, of course, is how did you get into coaching?
Okay, we'll go to the love question first so I can get all my blushes out. Now, the thing is, I fell in love with my best friend. And I didn't realize that there was more than friendship. And he saw what was happening to me. Of course, you know, I'm in love, so I didn't see it.
Right.
And then we started arguing a lot. And then one day I told him, okay, we broke up. He's so good. There was no sympathy. I was like, but why is he reacting like that? I said, okay, no problem. He just upset at how things ended up. But then I realized there was more to it there. He's younger than I am, more mature than I am.
Wow.
I'm more mature than any guy that I've been interested in. You know? And it's a case of, funny enough, that is going to lead me into coaching now, because I was writing erotica, performing erotica.
Right.
And he told me one day, he asked me one day, who is Mariposa? I could not answer.
Wow.
And he said to me, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be helping other women out there to get to where you're at.
Right.
Wow.
Right? And I have never been in a relationship where I felt so free.
Wow.
I am not under any radar.
No control.
No controls. No spotlight.
How long after that breakup did this relationship happen?
It took me a year. It took me a year. Because at that time, I still wasn't seeing him
Right.
in that light. And honestly, he had a rough time. He had a rough time. Because after all that I went through, then for somebody else come and tell me, I love you,
You weren't buying
you
it.
get him the blank stare.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying it, and it took him a while. It took him a while. But then I realized he had my best interest at heart with everything that I was doing. Always very supportive, even to the point now we share ideas.
Right.
you know, so it feels good. But I do believe that if I had stayed where I was mentally, I would not have been able to be in a proper relationship now
Right.
and to be where I am work-wise, coaching, because I know there are coaches out there because they're textbook coaches. I firmly believe I am the better deal because I've been there. I've been through it. You can talk about a textbook, you can read the box, but if you don't taste the tea, you don't know what tea really is about.
Let's have
Time
a
to sip
on that.
sip on this
Sip some
lovely
Lipton
Lipton's
on
tea.
that one. That's a cheers actually.
That's a really good point. And Deborah, you are a mother of, you have girls. And
No, girl and a boy.
a girl and a boy. You have a girl. As a mother of a girl, in terms of, what have you told her about the whole of protecting herself in relationships? Everything.
So you never hid anything.
At first I did. At first I did because I was scared. But when she got about probably like 18, I told her what I went through. Of course, you know, at first you're not going to want to go through everything. But as she got older, I realized she was mature enough. So I spoke to her. And then I spoke to my son because he is young. He is the younger of the two. And my thing is this. Yes, I have a daughter. I don't want her to go through what I went through. By saying to him I have a son, I don't want him to put anybody's girl child through that.
Yes.
You know? Always be respectful to women. Listen. And if you can't get along with somebody,
Let them go.
go. Don't put your hand on anybody's girl child. Because my thing is this. That's somebody's girl child. Somebody's future wife, and if you're not going to be doing right by her, just walk. You don't own a person.
No.
And that's the problem I find that I experience. People thought I was to be owned,
To be possessed.
to be possessed, and with my personality, it wasn't going down good. You know, I like to be out there. I like being around people, and I don't like to be caged up.
Mariposa.
I love freedom. I'm a butterfly.
Yeah.
So like when he even told me that my feet wouldn't touch the ground, I said they never did. I was always meant to fly. And that is what I'm doing now. And I can say I'm happy.
I'm so
There's
happy
just a little, you know.
You have your normal
I have your moments.
challenges,
Yeah. I'm happy.
When do you find that you're being triggered? And I really want you to speak about that, especially for someone who may be trying to heal.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those moments of something that may trigger you to make you go back into that space of anxiety or depression coming out of what you've been through? What
It might sound weird, but the first thing, breathe.
Breathe.
Breathe. Remind yourself, I do a lot of affirmations. You're not that person anymore. You're not in that space. Life is better. You're in a happier place. People talk about a happy space as if it is a space on the outside. Yeah, we got happy spaces outside. But you have to have a happy space in your mind. Because it's not every day you can get to your happy space physically.
No.
So you take yourself there.
Yeah. And what would you say to a victim who is in the process of in a emotionally or physically abusive relationship? What would you look in the camera and talk to them?
Do not stay there. Get up. Do what you have to do. If you have kids, get people to help you to move your kids out of the situation. Life goes on. You can study. You can live your dreams. Abuse does not end your life. Keep going. That's what I would say to anybody that has been physically, mentally, sexually, otherwise abused.
What would you say to, okay, so that first relationship, you were 19. Was it a long-term relationship? Was it like a year?
In my mind, it was too long.
Right. But I only asked
It was
that
too
because,
long.
you know, as a young person getting involved in a relationship, you're kind of naive, right?
Exactly.
About what is love.
Exactly.
You know, like, oh, he just wants to be with me all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know.
He loves me.
Loves me.
And you make a lot of excuses.
What are some of those things that you would have experienced that you, if for any young woman listening right now, that is hearing this and thinking that, well, this person just loves me. What's something that should be a little red flag? Like, maybe not.
You should be allowed to be free to think, free to have your opinions, not to be judged, not to be ridiculed, not to be questioned about your friends, not to be told you can't do something, not to be stopped from enjoying life unless that person is with you. You should be free to move.
Without question.
Free to move without question. Free to do as you please without judgment. Even if there's a ring on your finger, freedom is necessary, because at the end of the day, even if you're in a relationship, you're your own person first.
Yes.
You're your own person. Yeah, you're in a relationship, fine, you're together, but you still need your own space. You still need to be your own person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the difference there now with that in terms of emotionally, before we wrap up, what are some of the things that you should look for, somebody should look for there from that emotional perspective? Because once again, it is this feeling of maybe, oh, I can't exist without that person. What are some of the things is that something that an abuser might make you feel?
Yes, they will tell you can't do without me, you can't live without me. Basically, that's what they like to tell you. And you have to be strong enough to stand up against it. You got to be strong enough to walk. And you got to be strong enough to know that when you walk, life continues. And you're still your own person. But if you don't have your own life and you're dependent on that person, that is when everything will just go rock bottom for you. And honestly, that's what happened to me. And at that time, I didn't have anybody to talk to on that level. You know, because mommy was old school. So it's only after certain things started happening that we started actually talking about these things. And that's another thing. I would like parents talk to the children, not just the girls. Talk to the boys as well.
Yes.
You know, you need to. It's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, but.
Oh,
this has been
Deborah,
fantastic.
Mariposa,
Mariposa.
you have done amazing. And,
Thank you.
I really have to thank you for sharing your story, because it's something so personal to go through and to share and to let others know that, you are an inspiration for somebody who's going through something that has been debilitating and almost life-taking.
Yes.
Right? So I really thank you for coming and sharing your positive tea with us.
Yeah,
it was well spilled.
Thank you. Don't worry. I made a promise. I'm going to keep spilling tea until the day my eyes close, because I believe I went through this to help others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us on this amazing episode with Coach Mariposa. I just want to remind you of some of the key things. Remember, talk to your boys and talk to your girl children. Remember that life continues after abuse. Remember that you can get out of it and you can come out better on the other side. So thank you for joining us, and see you on our next episode of Spilling the Positivity. Bye.
Audio Jungle.